I bought another truck. 1967 GMC C1500 half-ton two-wheel drive. Long bed, obviously, like you guys are seeing there. It's got the patina, which is what everybody's after, all the craze. It's got real patina too. It's mostly original paint. It's a pretty decent truck. So, excited about this one. I bought this from Barrett. And I just actually got the chance to meet him yesterday when I bought the truck. We've had lots of mutual friends over the years and never quite got together. And this was our way of finally meeting, me going and buying this truck from him. And it was awesome. Super cool dude, and really appreciative of him passing the truck on to me, giving me a deal on it. And just cool to finally put a face to the name and hang out and talk trucks. And thanks to Jesse too for running over there with me and helping me go grab it. It was a good time. So I'm kind of bummed because I did I wanted to get some pictures and videos while I was there at his place and you know, loading the truck up and whatnot, but 3 car guys started talking and pretty soon I kind of forgot all about that, and it was dark and we were rolling home. We had a 3-hour drive home. It was over in Deer Park, which is well, we're right here in Orville, and Deer Park's like yeah, right about there, so a little bit north of Spokane. Spokane's about right there. And of course, Idaho and yada yada. So we went over the mountain pass and over, and then by the time we loaded the truck up, in the dark all the way home, back over the same mountain pass, and yeah, made for a long day because we didn't get started and leave till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So feeling a little bit this morning. It's Sunday here, and I'm getting out here and looking at this truck outside, and yeah, it's good. I like it. It's a good truck. So it's a V6 truck, which is kind of cool. They're super common in the body style before these, the ugly flop flabs, whatever you want to call sided 60 to 66. But by the time they got made to these trucks, they were kind of starting to phase them out. And 69 is the last year for light duty 10 through 30s to have the gasoline V6 engine in them. So this is a 67 again, and it is a 305. This is the baby one. This is the smallest one. Still a big block, still big. You know, and you got to think with just 6 cylinders as a 305, with that kind of math, you know, it'd be nearly 400 cubes with the same size bore and stroke if it was a V8. So big block V6. They're super quirky. When you're used to popping the hood and seeing a 350 and, you know, you're just your everyday small block Chevy, this is certainly not that same sight. And so they were a GMC engine. This is not a Chevy engine. It's 100% GMC. They formulated them right off the bat to be kind of multi-fuel. They made them to be diesel and gasoline. And of course, the diesels were the Toraflow, which I have a truck with one in it. You guys all know, the big Napco. So it is from the same family. It is a very close, you can't even call it a distant cousin. It is a close cousin or even sister to this engine. Same style, kind of block layout and kind of dimensions and whatnot, but it's got an injection pump and in the valley, and it's got intakes and exhausts on the outside of the head. So shares some, you know, valve covers are the same. The general look is kind of the same, besides, of course, all the injection and the intakes and exhaust and whatnot. But yeah, Toraflows are a diesel V6, and this is the gas V6. These didn't get a catchy name. No, they did, the Magnums. Well, they called some of them the bigger cubic inch ones Magnums and whatnot, and they pushed these pretty hard. They sold the piss out of these. Like I said, the body style beforehand had a lot of these in them, and they still sold quite a bit of the first years of these with them, but by 69, of course, they were done. So if you guys don't know anything about these, I'm not going to sit here and give you a full history lesson. There's better videos out there for that, and I actually got to be frank with you guys. I don't know a lot about them, or I shouldn't say I don't know a lot about them. I don't have a lot of first-hand experience with them. This is the first one I've ever had with one of these engines. Well, it ran. I've had ones that have been complete, you know, or incomplete, you know, had a block in it with maybe missing a carb and locked up, and had a few like that. Or one that, you know, was one of these trucks, but they swapped to a V8, you know, small block or whatever. This is the first one that has a V6 intact, gasoline, and it runs. So kind of, I don't know, kind of jazzed about that. It's kind of cool. But yeah, so the first thing off the bat, if you guys haven't noticed it while I've been blabbing on here, the spark plugs are on the inside. They're on this side of the heads. They're on the, I mean, cold side. They're not on the exhaust side. So spark plugs, this side of the head are down here, essentially kind of in this intake valley. The intakes are separate. You know, this is of course your crossover, your water, you know, here. So this is your fuel and air intake. They got little baby carburetors on them. They have little tiny carburetors, you know, factory. Yeah, just unusual. They you know, all there's on their sides. The wiring harnesses are different. There's lots of things different just because of this motor. You know, the wires run in different places. The water pumps are ginormous. These cool really well. Yeah, the fuel pumps up here. Check that out. The fuel pumps up here. It's kind of funny when guys so used to it being, you know, about a foot lower than that and hard to get to. That's actually pretty well easy access. And this truck is a power steering truck too, which is pretty uncommon because, and that is not just to the V6 per se, but to the year. So this is a 67 pickup. And of course these are still, well, this actually does have bumps in the frame down there. But in this year, they were not power steering boxes. This is a manual box and it has a power, you know, ram assist down there. So not quite your normal power steering guys used to. Leaky. And I can tell this one's been leaking like crazy, but it is original to the truck. Kind of cool. Power steering, power brake truck, V6, and automatic. And that's where it gets a little funky too, because the things that, it wasn't just the motor that was weird in these GMC trucks that had, you know, this V6 in them. It wasn't just like the motor itself. Everything that followed suit was kind of unusual too. It has an automatic in it, of course. And show you guys the inside. We'll show some more here in a second. The windows were broken out. This thing sat in Spokane for years and years, back behind a little grocery store, kind of little gas station, little mini mart deal. And some kids broke out the windows years ago. 67 small window, broke the glass out. But there is another one right there. Thanks to Barrett for sourcing that, and another side glass for it. This one's broken out, so I'm gonna get this glass all vacuumed up, and I want to get those in right away so it's not open to the elements. Not so bad right now in the summertime, but another couple months we're gonna have 6 inches of snow on the ground, so we'll get this little girl all closed up. But yeah, nothing quirky and funny if you're obviously seeing it. Sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place here. It is a red interior, 67, so this is a custom cab, and it's got two-tone red and gray interior. This is factory. It's a white truck on the outside, but it's got red interior with gray accents, and it's got a red, you know, obviously panel painted interior as well. You can see this is all original. This is original paint in here. Underneath here, this is the GM tag, 67 only on those. So red insides, white outsides, and this door's been painted, so kind of some crappy, you know, after the fact, not factory white overspray and whatnot. But factory white original paint, all worn off, red guts. Kind of a cool combination. And again, back to what I originally was going on about automatic. So because of that V6, it is not normal automatic, or you know, it is a normal automatic. It's put it in drive and go, but it is a turbo 375, which is kind of a hybrid between a turbo 400 and turbo 350. And so it's got the big case like a turbo 400, kind of same basic layout, you know. The pan looks like a turbo 400 pan and whatnot, but the output is different. It's got a smaller output shaft on it, more like that of a turbo 350. So kind of funny transmission, turbo 375, and these don't share the same normal you know, GM bolt pattern. They don't have a Buick's Pontiac one either. They have their own you know, bolt pattern that is not, you know, shared with any of the other GM engines at the time. So they have a adapter that goes on the back of the engine to utilize that transmission. A lot of these V6 trucks were stick shifts, and again, if it was a stick shift, a lot of them were NP 435s, which most people know from the Ford world, being a common Ford transmission. But these GMC trucks with this V6, a lot of times they're a stick shift and 4 on the floor. They are NP 435. So these trucks are quirky. They're funny when they have these engines in them. They're just kind of, they're certain that they're still GM, but they're not a Chevy. It is not a Chevy one bit. And these are kind of really the last trucks, you know, 67, 8, and 9, where a GMC truck was a different truck than a Chevrolet. You had different options you could get, you know. I mean, in the 50s, you could get Pontiac motors in a GMC truck, and then they developed these. I believe 60 was the first year for these, you know, GMC V6s, and they kind of had their own engine then. They weren't borrowing from other manufacturers. They had their own, you know, options that were unique to these trucks, their own colors unique to these trucks. And then by, you know, 69, they phased this engine out, and by 70, the GMC was just pretty much down to the grill and, you know, trim, badging, and a few little differences, but I mean, this is not a Chevy. This is certainly a GMC. So I'm excited about this. If you guys can't tell, it's just kind of cool. Again, I've had a bunch of these trucks, never had one with a running V6. And I say running because, well, it runs. I don't have to do a, you know, does it run, you know, will it run video and do that basic YouTube car guy video, which we're all guilty of filming and putting out there. Because it runs. And Barrett drove it onto this trailer last night, and it sounded to run pretty well. I heard it run for about 15-20 seconds, and it sounded good to me. So it runs. I'm going to pull it off the trailer here and start playing around with this thing a little bit. Oh, another thing noteworthy, is kind of funny. Dana 44 rear, which for these trucks is a 67, 68 only thing. You'll see them in the Chevys sometimes, a little more common than GMCs. But yeah, it's a leaf spring rear suspension truck, half ton, two-wheel drive, of course, like I said. But that is a Dana 44 rear, which of course after that by 69, you know, and up, they all were 12 bolts. Whether they're leaf spring, coil spring, whatever it be, they're 12 bolt rear ends. So this is kind of funny. It's got the Dana 44 rear, kind of an unusual sight when you're so used to seeing underneath one of these trucks and seeing a 12 bolt. Kind of cool. Oh, and the old guy who owned this thing, he was pretty vocal, or that of he liked to show some of his views and favorite jokes on his tailgate. We've got quite the bumper sticker kind of extravaganza applied here to the dented tailgate. I don't know if it was to cover up the dents because he ran into something, somehow saved, and didn't ruin that beautiful factory chrome sport bumper that's factored to the truck. Has the splash guards and everything, correct brackets. That's been on the truck since day one. It's never been off there. Yeah, he liked his bumper stickers. Visualize using your turn signal. Quit honking, I'm loading. There's some political ones here too. We got Foley. I think that was a guy running for office back in the day. Something about George. I'm guessing that's just George Bush. Maybe senior, or that says elect. Judy. What was her name? That was a Washington. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm drawing a blank here. Maybe just Judy's a common politician name. But yeah, we got 2004 on the tabs there. So that could have been junior or senior. They both had a run in the office in there. But fishing, politics views, kind of the I'm old, I'm retired jokes. Retirement, something or another, tee-hee, ha-ha after that. And too old to work, too young to die, grandma and grandpa's are going bye-bye. L&L RV service, Spokane, Washington. I have a feeling this guy was kind of a funny dude. A couple radio stations. I don't think he was a rocker. That's a country station, I think, and there's another station here. Yeah, it's not KZOK. It is not 98.9. Yeah, I don't think he was a rocker. That's okay though. What does this one say? Commanders Club, 2000, something there. Something about bedrooms. Governors, something governor. Keep your government out of your bedrooms. More fishing. That's kind of funny. Walked up to it and I saw this. I was like, oh boy. I had to make sure we didn't have any wild views here before we towed this thing home. I didn't want people running us off the road because of old Grandpop's views. He was displaying on the tailgate back there. A couple AAA ones there. One more over here too. There's something else. Pray for the new, I don't know. Oh, pray. This is funny. Pray for me. I drive Newport Highway number 2 is what that says. So I'm pretty sure that's what I just read there. So that's kind of a Spokane joke. Spokane people will laugh at that. Anybody else from anywhere else will just kind of go, yeah, what's that all about? Yeah, so we like the bumper stickers. Wood bed floor truck. We got actually 2 new gas tanks. One that got damaged in shipping. Another new gas tank there to put in it because its gas tank is shot. It's running off just a carb, or a bottle underneath the engine bay. But I want to pull off the trailer, and that is kind of one of the first things. Get the glass out of it, vacuumed up. Get ready to put new glass in it and put a tank in it. Get it running off of its own tank and not a bottle underneath the hood. So, yeah, here she is. Okay, let's fire this thing up and get it off the trailer. All right, I spoke too soon. You guys can see nothing. It is in park. It's not the neutral safety switch. I was just talking it up how it's not going to be a will it run video because I just saw it run last night. I drove on the trailer, but now it is not running, and I know it's not the battery. The battery is good. So maybe this is a will it run video. Let's see what's going on here. All right, after a couple, well, 45 seconds, I found it. This wire ripped off on the way home. Yep, see that? This key is on, or it's got a drill on it. You can hear the blower motor making noise. Just barely hear it. This wire ripped off, so it comes off the positive of the battery, and so, you know, eventually, well, supplies power all the way inside to everything, and which goes inside and of course back out and down until it's started to turn over. So we ain't got no power. So simple fix. This will not be a 45-minute long will it run video, I don't think, anyways. All right, I got that fixed. I think it'll fire right up now, just as it did yesterday. Just a funny little deal. That wire ripped off on the way home or something. I don't know. Battery cables are kind of puny. I might end up replacing those by the time this is all said and done here. Getting this thing kind of tuned up and all done up, getting ready for the Grand Prix. But for now, I just want to get this thing off the trailer and start sorting out the biggest issues, like the broken glass and that bad gas tank. Get running off its own tank, not this little silly setup. So tune up and possible carb rebuild to, you know, happen here. But for now, let's just attack the biggest problems first. Okay. See if it'll fire up. Key cylinder is all boogered and torn out of the dash, and that of course is a 67 only piece. It's smaller in diameter around, but I've got a bunch of those. I bought a pack of like 5 of them from a guy who had a bunch of 67 parts when I was getting Chelsea's Vermilion, that camper truck I just showed going. So I know I've got some 67 key cylinders, but again, that's one of those 67 only parts I was kind of just talking about there. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see what she does. Come on, baby. Ooh. Oh yeah. Got a little bit of a mess, but runs pretty good, really. Okay, let's see if it'll pop off the trailer. Oh yeah. Reverse. I love these trucks. The train might be a little bit low on ATF. It kind of tried to neutral itself there. Sure just needs a quart or two put in it. Oh, 67 only. 67 only. 67 only. 67 only. Lots of little 1-year-old bits. Yeah. Sounds good. It's actually got decent exhaust on it. Glass pack. Big block V6. Exhaust leak on this side. I barely heard it run yesterday. We got there so late, and they're kind of like, hey, let's just load it up. You know, I was happy with the deal, and we're happy to just make a transaction, get it loaded up, and start BSing. But we got lots of little things to fix on it. It's got a bit of an exhaust leak there, guys, here. A little bit of a miss, I think. Sure needs to tune up. Sitting for 20 years, you know. 2004. Last time it was tab. It's 2024 now. That sounds good. I like it. Sorry, it's kind of cool for me. My first runner V6 truck, gasoline. Of course, I've got a running V6 diesel there, but that doesn't sound like this. It sounds much more obnoxious and kind of annoying, really. Yeah, big block V6. All the bumper stickers. Okay, I'm gonna pull over to the yard in the shade. We're in the shade here, but there's more shade there. Bigger tree, more shade. It's hot out here in Washington. It was 105 today. Starting to cool off now. I think it's only 99. But the spot in the shade is definitely the spot to be. Oh yeah, that's how you know it's a good truck. The horn works. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Power steering works good. I just thought of that now. I'm sitting here turning it. That is the Ram Assist power steering. It feels great. Doesn't feel really any bit different than that of a box truck. It's cool. I like it. I'm in love. If you guys haven't already noticed. That's the best, about to die on me. Still love it. I don't care. I will fix it. Brake actually worked pretty good. Got a good pedal or power. It's nice. Stops good. Four-wheel drums, of course, being a 67. Drum brake, 6-lug truck. Man, this is a nice driving truck. I actually like it. The power steering works good. I'm one finger in the air, and just easy turning, and filming, talking, narrating. Dig it. This thing's cool. Gotta fix that little doohickey. I got another one of those. That's no big deal. Oh, and these are GMC only. The lines go horizontal for custom cab GMC vinyl wrap door panels in 67, and they are vertical. Vertical for Chevys. So horizontal GMC. So this is a GMC only door panel. But by 72, there's no GMC or Chevy door panels. They all, just share, interchange. But I also bought this 67 the other day, about a week ago, and it's not even half as nice as this white 67 GMC. It may supply some parts to this white truck, or at least it wants to kind of go and stick with it, because this white truck's got a banged up fender. That is a nice fender, driver's side 67 fender on this truck. And this truck is rough, much rougher than it looks from here, standing 35 feet away filming it. Let me assure you, she's rough. No title, 3/4 ton, 2-wheel drive, and it may be a bit of a parts truck towards this white GMC. But kind of happy for that. I've got that just in case a guy runs into something, because there are lots of 67, first year only parts for these trucks. Another 67 here at the house. This one just got dropped off. I didn't buy this truck. It is a customer truck. He dropped it off for me to restore it, actually. So new project at the shop is what this is. I'll be getting to in a few months' time and starting on it. It is a very unusual truck for one certain thing. It is also a V6 truck. I will be doing a video on this truck very soon, one of the next videos. But yeah, another little 67 and GMC to boot here at the house. So pretty cool. This one obviously half-ton 4-wheel drive. And of course my wife's Vermilion 67 C20, our camping truck. I don't know if I've done a video on this one before or showed it or whatnot, but cool truck. We used to go camping. 67s are cool. This is a cool color, cool factory color. 67 with 68 only color. And yeah, factory 327 4-speed truck. Runs really good, hauls the camper well. I love these trucks. I love all of them. I'm kind of always, kind of lean towards 71, 72 with the slant nose, and the 67s in particular. They're cool trucks. They got lots of character to them. They got their own look, and I can see why this is some people's favorite year. I love them all. Not my first choice. I always go 72, but damn it, 67 Chevy and GMC it's just as good. They're all good. I love them all. They're cool. This thing's cool. There's that big whiskey dent I was talking about. It's got kind of hides in some of the side views. It's got a pretty good sized dent in there. I can get most of it out with the soccer, basketball, I think, and a little bit of playing, monkeying around, and maybe a new piece of new to it piece of trim, and look probably a lot better. I could get 90%, 80% of that at least out and make it look better. It's got a couple dingers and dents back here too, kind of soft ones, but like I say, really pretty straight truck. That's the worst of it. Oh, and of course the tailgate's hammered. It's cooked. They hit something hard there, and it's all beat up from the inside. It's actually bowed backwards. It's hit so hard. Huh. You just see them like this, but the other way around. Had a spare tire carrier on the front that Barrett already ripped off. Thanks for that, because I don't know if I could even have taken it home with that thing on there. The thing is so ugly. But guys love these. I'm sure somebody will be wanting to buy this in the comments. I hope they got. Yeah, I bet you would. Hides that beautiful 67 1-year only grill, and it really didn't save it. Still got kind of a little bit of a dent on the grill too, but I'm gonna SOS it. This is all gonna clean up really nice. 1 year only. There, 67 GMC in the grill. Very next year, 68 was on the hood. Grill was different, and then the rest of the years, GMC on hood, and its own GMC grill. But GMC in the grill, 67 only, and cool that it's a chrome grill truck, because a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are painted. This is a duded out truck in the day. I mean, really the only thing it didn't have that's right in front of your face is AC. Didn't have air conditioning. But the protector plate, this door doesn't open. I've got to monkey around and get that door opening somehow. Protector plate and warranty booklet, which is kind of cool. I haven't seen one of these for a 67. I've seen like a million 72 ones, but it was in the glove box right here. No spid, which is not unusual to 67, 68 GMCs. A lot of them did not have spids. This one has never had a spid. It's not covered up. It hasn't been painted. This is factory paint with the two-tone, you know, red and gray interior, but no spid factory. So that kind of sucks. This is a 67 only stamp glove box door. 67 only stopper. Again, broken record here. Lost 67 only. 67 only. Small cigarette lighter. 67 only. 67 only. 67 only. Wipers and radio knobs. The right there. 67 only. 67 only. These are kind of rare because a lot of times radios got changed out, thrown away, and whatever. So 1 year only, and it had to be the upper trim level to have the chrome little bezels on the radio. So that's kind of cool. Factory to the truck. It's still here. But yeah, this deal has the extra plate right there, and it was sold new in Bellingham, Washington. So this is a coasty truck from the coast. So doesn't get as hot over there. Not as much of a need for AC, but he got the other amenities. He got power steering, power brakes, automatic, and like I say, the guy could say he was missing something, and it's missing AC, but it doesn't hurt my feelers. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so clean up this mess. I gotta call Chelsea out here and show this thing to her, see what she thinks. She kind of saw it this morning. She's been busy all day, but I'm gonna get her out here and we'll get her opinion on this thing. I love it. I think she's gonna like it too. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, and it is certainly 5 o'clock. Come on, bobbing for apples. Come on. It is certainly 5 o'clock here. Sunday, relaxing. Time for a beer. Longhorn did great. Towing it home as she always does. 6+ hour round trip, towing both ways, and yeah, she did great as always. So cheers to the Longhorn. Here's something kind of funny I did notice, and I gotta say, you learn something new every single day. I play trucks every day, still learn something new. This radiator has been replaced before, and we see why. Corky's Radiator Shop, Spokane, Washington, with numbers still attached. So thank you, Corky's, for your guys' fine service and the new radiator. And it was replaced with a bigger one. So this here, rule of thumb, these holes are for 6-cylinder radiators. 6-cylinder radiators were just as, you know, tall and everything, but they're a little bit narrower. And than a V8 radiator, you know, truck or a V8 radiator would be. And so when a 6-cylinder radiator is in place, it this is just right here. It's a little bit shorter this way, and on inline 6 trucks, they have just a little finger guard, a little metal, you know, not even a shroud, just a guard, because the fans are so close to the radiator. GM engineers decided not to even use a shroud. They said they'd pull air with no shroud. So the rest of them, you know, V8s, small block, big block, and these V6s have a shroud because the fan is not as close. And so here I've got a V6 truck in front of me, complete altogether. And I have seen this before. This shroud here, the look of it, it mimics a big block, you know, a V8 big block shroud, and kind of has the same, like, you know, tall ear and thicker construction, bigger opening, you know, on the fan side, and bigger fan, just like that of a big block truck. So I've seen this before. I know V6 trucks fans should look like this, and I assume they were the same, but they're actually not. If you look, it's actually longer on this side than it is on this side. This side is real short. And you'll notice here they replaced this radiator, the not factory one, went to go put it in, and of course then they just got whatever radiator they could. You know, it looks like it's a 3-core or so, and put it in, and it doesn't fit right. This is supposed to be here. It was kind of funny too, because I noticed yesterday, I kind of was looking at it for a short little bit. I'm like, oh, it's got a big, you know, automatic transmission cooler. That's kind of cool. And a little bar it runs across. I was like, wait a second, it's not hooked up. And it had these 2 holes cut in the core support with rubber. So assuming that's obviously where the lines ran through. I'm like, well, why did I take it off? Oh, whatever. And I looked, I'm like, oh, well, I hooked it up back up to the radiator. That's weird. Then I figured it out. I was like, oh, it's because it had, before this radiator was put in it, this factory one, which was this size and this shroud, but narrower, and it had room for the transmission cooler they had hooked up. And they put this radiator in it. Corky's did. and they just said didn't hook that back up and just ran the normal, you know, side tank cooler for the transmission only. But yeah, so my theory is here, so got us all figured out. I thought these were the same as normal V8 big block. They're not. They're the unique V6 big block fan shrouds, but I have a V8 big block fan shroud, so I'm absolutely positive that it is going to just bolt in and be the right size and opening and go in place on this truck. So it'll fix that issue, and I don't plan on towing heavy for this truck. I don't think anybody else does, so the transmission cooler is probably fine just having this one here. So kind of funny. Again, learn something new every single day, even if it's something silly and simple. One reason I was able to kind of confirm all this too is because that other 67 GMC in the yard I showed a bit ago, it is V6 all factory, and it has the narrower radiator, only goes to there with this style shroud on it. So I think I found the culprit for making all this mess. Probably some shithead kids threw a rock to the window years ago. It's sitting on the back of that little mom and pop little gas, you know, mini market, grocery store, whatever you want to call it. Kids, don't throw rocks at 67, 72 trucks. Throw them at square bodies. Throw them at trucks that don't matter, okay? Looks like the exhaust has been leaking for a while. I found this underneath the seat. Maybe they put one side on, not the other, and they just held on to it, but this is old. Huh. Oh, yeah. 401, 478, 305, 351. Yeah, that's crazy, because 478 is the same block, same size, everything. 305, almost 200 cube difference, the same block. But it's pretty believable when you see a 305, as this motor is, the baby one, with the head off of it. You know, it's just a V6, only 3 cylinders per side, but there is so much meat and material in between the cylinders. You go throw a whole nother piston in there, and they pretty well do with the 478, because those are over 5 inches across, you know, bore spacing. The Napco, of course, is a 478 Toro Flow diesel, and it has the, you know, again, big cube motor and big pistons, the biggie, the biggest. So this is just the baby, the 305. Okay, got this mess kind of well cleaned up. These are kind of funny. They're Oldsmobile car mats. They kind of kept this original carpet somewhat. Yeah, never mind, I spoke too soon. They did not keep the original carpet nice. Something gooey and sticky. Ugh, I don't know. Something dead or what? Petrified? Kind of almost looks like it. What is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. But I'm throwing these mats out and get it out of here. If it's something dead or a spill of paint or something, looks kind of like a dead, I don't know. Old trucks. Old truck things. But I'm getting it cleaned up in here. I get the seat out of it. Rip this cover off of it. The cover kind of kept the seat. It's just dry and falling apart. So get this cover pulled off of it. Clean up the seat a little bit. Make it decent to sit in. Probably get another one of these covers eventually, because it's kind of tearing up over there. But yeah, kind of excited to see it with just the red seat. Okay, it wasn't a dead animal. It was some kind of a tube of construction adhesive, or a fucking candy bar of some sort, Heath bar or something that melted in the sun and turned to petrified old truck remnants, artifacts, and yeah, made a mess of the carpet. But maybe those will go back in it after I clean them up. But all right, no spid, as I just showed a couple videos ago. But check it out. I'll go inverted to see it. Original build sheet. I'm gonna cut some of this seat cover out of the way so we get a better look at it. I'm not gonna take it out because it's not gonna come out one piece. It can just stay with the truck. 67, 68 trucks. The seats flip forward. A folding seat, as you can see. So if anyone wants to look at it, they can flip the seat forward and peek at it then. It's a safe spot for it. It's been there for well over 50 years. It can stay right there. But original build sheet. I'm gonna cut the seat cover out of the way, and we'll read some of the options this thing came with. Kind of cool. It's still there. I was hoping it would be. I got the tank out, pulled the sending unit out, and it really didn't appear to be in too bad a shape under first glance, until I started looking a little closer. The sock was still attached, hanging on by a thread. I pulled it off, and that's when I noticed it is plugged solid. So this thing wasn't gonna be sucking any gas up from the bottom of the tank, that's for sure. So gonna get this thing freed up, or decide to get a new one. And either, let's see, I'm gonna turn the flash on. I'll get a picture of it, see what it looks like. Might clean this tank out or use it if it's not too bad a shape, or use one of these new ones. Bad thing is the cheap new ones leak and the old original ones are rusty. So, you know, 6 to 1, half dozen the other, what do you do? So if I get this original one cleaned up, I might roll with it. And if not, we'll hope one of these new ones goes in and does the trick. Okay, Chelsea's home from work. She's out here and she found a good seat. Seat of the truck. I've been cleaning it up a little bit. What do you think? Like the red?
Cool. Yeah. Like the red inside.
Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? What do you think of the truck? What should we do with it?
Sell it.
Oh, come on now. That's not the spirit.
I don't know.
I want you to drive it. It drives nice. I was just putting around the yard earlier. Drives nice, it does. Nice and easy and smooth.
I'll drive it.
Okay.
Once.
Once. Maybe you'll fall in love with it. You never know.
Carpet just looks rough. That's what I was.
Yeah, it is rough. Be nice to throw a carpet kit at it, but I want to make sure it runs in.
Not bad from.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Well,
Yeah, they had that little hole, like a CB antenna running through or something like that. I want to get. It'd be nice to throw a carpet kit in. We might, but I want to get it running and driving first, and drive down the highway and make sure it doesn't have anything wrong with it. It's not showing yet. Before a guy spends that kind of money on it, but yeah, it's cool as a carpet truck. So, and it has nice padded door panels. You know, yours are tin. Yours are just metal. This has a little padding added to the metal. Like how yours only has one sun visor and one or no armrest. This is a upper trim level 67. It's got the carpet instead of the mat like yours and stuff. But
it's like orange.
yeah, it is kind of a reddish orange, real kind of a bright red. Yeah. The seat's half original, the upper half's original. And get tuned up and get it driving after I get this gas tank in it. It's a bit more of a project than I thought it was going to be. Those two new tanks are wrong. They're not the same style. They're just the neck's wrong and the venting's wrong. I mean, it could work, but I'd like to just fix the original tank. It's actually not that dirty inside, so I'm gonna fix the original tank. I think I'll probably take it to the shop tomorrow and work on it, clean it out a little bit. But what do you think? You approve?
I do approve.
You do approve, huh? I'll get it running and driving so you can drive it, and you can tell me what you really think. Then I think you're gonna like it. It's kind of a cute little truck.
Sounds good.
Want to help me wash it?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Those hubcaps are actually shiny hubcaps, so we got some scrubbing to do. SOS and want to run the hose? Or you want to scrub?
Run the hose.
Okay. Hey, that's better than no help. I'll take what I can. All right, guys. Day 2 here on the GMC. We were out here till dark last night, scrubbing on this thing. The grill cleaned up pretty good. So did the front bumper. Chrome grills always look cool. We started scrubbing on the hubcaps, and they were, well, somewhat cooperating. I have to just pop them all off and do them individually. But got a lot of moss scrubbed off of it. The roof was covered with moss, around the windows was, and it was just kind of a mess. With a pressure washer and good scrubbing. Needed it. And also this morning, give it a quick degrease in the engine bay and a quick little hose down in here. I don't want to get too carried away. Those valve cover gaskets I think are leaking, so I might pull those off and do those gaskets eventually. I think I actually have a set of those gaskets lying around that I clung on to. I found, somewhere at a parts store on the road one day. I was like, hey, I know what those are for because of the unmistakable shape, and I just bought them just for the fact that I didn't know if they'd be easy to get. And you could tell they've been sitting there a long time. I've got them over at the shop. I think they're sitting with another set of valve covers for these trucks. And I also have a set of plaid valve covers for a V6. I might stick on this thing. We'll see. I'll talk more about those later. But yeah, cleaned up underneath here pretty good. Needed it. It was just dusty and dirty. Yeah, no, this thing's kind of coming around. So here's what I did with the gas tank. I played around and considered my options. And these two new ones, well, they're new. But they actually are for a 72, so they got a smaller neck here, and so my gasket that is existing with the truck wouldn't work quite right. And these are for the ones with the evap that runs off the side of the tank. So kind of like, well, they're not quite the right one. Looked at the one that was in it, started cleaning up a little bit and decided to run the original tank. So I pressure washed it out really good, really thoroughly, many times this morning, and got towards pretty comfortable with how clean it was looking inside. Got all the chunks and the flakes and this and that out of it. It really wasn't that bad, actually. Just had a little thin layer of residue from bad gas. It was actually empty. There was no gas in it. It just had a residue from just it fumigating and, you know, sitting around for 20 years. So I got that cleaned up. I got the original setting unit freed up and cleaned up, and I put another sock on the bottom of it. So I got that kind of all sorted out. I think that's going to work good. Fingers crossed that the gas cage works. I think it will. Cleaned up the terminal and the wire and kind of made sure it was no uglies, and seems to be all intact from there and all the way up to the fuse panel. So I'm just about ready to stick the seat back in the thing, but I thought to myself, actually, now would be a good time to slip this back window in since it needs a back window. So I'm going to pull these gun racks off real quick, and I've got the window all prepped here. I just got to throw the rope in it. Oh, funny story. Same thing, kind of like those outcover gaskets I was just talking about. I bought a 67 one time, underneath the seat. It had a brand new in the wrapper, new, you know, small window rubber. Stuck it downstairs in my parts room. It's been down there for, gosh, 4 or 5 years probably at least, and I knew someday I'd use it. Well, today's the day. Small back window going back in this little 67. I knew of a slider, of a truck that had a slider, and I was thinking about almost trying to go and see if the guy would sell me that slider out of that parts truck he has, but I'm just going to throw his back glass in it and get it sealed up for now. It did rain last night too, so there was standing water in here this morning. I was like, yeah, it's time to get this covered up. Okay, so I'm gonna get this prepped. Chelsea went to town to grab us some lunch, so when she gets back, she'll help me pop this window in. They're pretty easy. I'm not gonna do a tutorial on that. Basically, it's just a rope in glass. If you guys don't ever be scared of doing those, look up YouTube, you know, how-to tutorials on them. They're really easy, guys. It's pretty easy to put glass in these old trucks. Can be a turd if, well, a bit more of a turd if they've got the trim like this front one does. And it does need a front windshield, so I worked up some tricks over the years, and Devin and I have gotten pretty good at them, and so we might jam one on this thing if the guy gets a wild hair. Here's the build sheet. So no SPID on the glove box store, but this is just as good, if not better. This shows every little option code and every little thing this truck was ordered and came with. And we'll see there, it was sold new in Bellingham, Washington, which is where the protector plate was sold out to. So a local guy bought it there who lived in Bellingham. It was sold at Ball Oldsmobile and Inc. Yeah, Ball Oldsmobile Inc. It's a GMC or Inc. It was built in Fremont, California, as we see there. Again, I'm just going to leave this thing in here. I'm not taking it out. I get to focus, get past these. See, Fremont plant. Engine number 305E. Okay, so it is 305. I was just about to check the deck on the engine. I was curious if it was a 305 or it could be a 351. This says it's the 305, which is pretty common. Most all of them that were in little half tons, 3/4 tons were all 305s. But 351 was optional. And okay, so try to read through these ones here. Side trim, heater. 67s are funny too because it's like right there, right-hand sunshade. Because 67s were standard with no armrests and only one sun visor and only one outside mirror on the driver's side. So let's look at left-hand outside mirror, right-hand sunshade. You know, so you'll see funny things said on 67 build sheets and SPIDs because they came with a lot less standards. So little tiny little things were actually optional, like a passenger mirror and driver and passenger door armrests and a passenger sun visor. So you'll just see funny little things like, well, what do you mean? It's got right-hand outside mirror. Thought it came with 2 mirrors. Nope, not in 67, but it's kind of cool. Hydromatic trans, which is that turbo 375 I was talking about earlier. Hydraulic steering, the Ram Assist power steering. Brake booster, 354 rear axle. So that Dana 44 rear's got 354 gears in it. That's interesting. Actually kind of nice, little in between cruising and, you know, good pulling gears. Wood platform. Let's talk about the rear bed floor, which is wood. Non-glare. Oh, no, it's kind of hard to read through the broken. 15-inch wheels, chrome hubcaps. Ivory. Ivory is the outside color, the white. And red cloth, of course, is the inside. Now we also see there custom appearance group and custom comfort
group, and that is the talking about the inside interior package, as well as another trim package for the outside as well. So the custom, which we see on the fender there, if I can get to focus, it's been trying to stare at this build sheet. The custom, the fender emblems, 67 only, GMC only, and yeah, kind of talk about the interior package as well. Pretty cool. Chrome front bumper and chrome rear. Probably says in there somewhere too, because it's got a chrome rear on it. But push bar. Oh, push button radio. Yeah, kind of hard to read through the springs and whatnot, but pretty cool. You know what, actually, that's kind of funny. Here I was making fun of the Oldsmobile floor mats. Those might have been in this thing since new. They're obviously not factory, but look at that. It was sold at Ball Oldsmobile new, and these things have got 50 years of wear. It's like they've been in a truck for all these years. Kind of match the rest of the truck. These might have been in there since new, or who knows? You know, he went and bought the truck and said, "Hey, I need some floor mats," and they just threw those in here. We got some car ones, they'll fit. You know, guy really can't say it happened, but you really can't say it didn't happen either, because it makes sense. That's cool. That is not something you see every single day here out in this lake. Fan boat is not common. That's the stuff I've ever seen. That's pretty cool. Makes a racket. It's really loud. I can hardly hear still. It's cool. We're used to jet boats and V-drives and hot rod boats, but not fan boats. That thing's cool. All right, I'm getting a little bit done here. Chelsea helped me get that back window in right after lunch. Got that all squared away and got the seat back in. Oh, and the gas gauge does work. That's a plus. I was hoping to get it working and keep it working, and it is working, so that's good. So it's drinking gas off of its own tank now. No more little bottle underneath the hood. Oldsmobile mats are back in it, including the candy bar, Laffy Taffy, whatever it is, mess there. Didn't want to come off. You use the pressure washer, but good enough for now. I did just change the oil, got up on the ramps, and the oil that was in it was really thin, and there wasn't much of it. So I'm hoping that with 6 fresh quarts and a bottle of Lucas, it'll shut that little ticky little noise it had up a bit. But yeah. Oh, and I squeezed the window on this side, and it's dirty, so I'm just gonna roll it down for now. Do that. So it is all sealed up. Broken glass replaced. This door does need to come off and be fixed. The hinge was overextended and ripped out of it at some point. Still functions, but I need to fix that. So get over the shop here one of these days soon and bust the door off and weld it up, fix it, make it more better. But for now, it's good enough. Okay, I'm gonna get it off the ramps here, and we are actually moving from this house here at the lake. Been here for 6 years. It's time to move. Yeah, so we're gonna pack a few things up here and run them over to our new spot where we're gonna be at, and figuring why not use the truck. So I'll throw some couches in the back, a couple dressers, got a few other things we gotta move. We're moving stuff all week kinda, but yeah, figured we'd take a test drive in the GMC, and what better than throw some junk in the back and use it like it's, well, intended for. Use it like a truck. Okay, I'm gonna get it off the ramps here, and we're gonna load some stuff up. Oh, yeah, and here's that bed floor. I got all the garbage cleared out of it. And as you guys can see, it's seen better days. It's pretty well fallen on itself. But got a quick fix for that for the time being. Much better. Better already. Just don't mind the little, you know, trap doors here and there. Cool. All right, got it all loaded up. 2 old classic lazy boy couches. They're ugly as sin, but comfortable as can be. Guess they're kind of like an old truck, an old worn out truck. Got a couple of exhaust leaks, but that ticking is kind of shutting up. Around a quart of Lucas in it, so hoping that helps. It's a couple miles to our new spot, so see how she runs on the open road. This thing drives super smooth. It's extremely quiet, and it gets
really good gas mileage, let me tell you what. Can hardly even hear this thing running. All right, so I definitely jumped the gun last night. Get this thing all loaded up full of couches and stuff to move, and oh, she wasn't ready. It's kind of funny too, because Chelsea's like, oh, it's running? It's good to go? I was like, oh yeah, no, this thing it's ready. It, in fact, was not. I got out on the road and opened up a little bit, shifted in a second, and boom, thing just kind of started to cough out and it died. Could start back up, it'd spit or sputter, and just kind of, I don't know, definitely a fuel problem. It's got spark, and didn't see anything else kind of happen to it. It just seems that it stuck something up in the carb, or the carb got unhappy of some sort. And I thought possibly it could be a fuel pump too, because it seemed to be getting no fuel and not wanting to start at all. But I came back here this morning and I just pulled the line off the carb and ran a little hose over into this, and a couple turnovers I've got, you know, that much fuel. So I'm getting plenty of fuel out of the pump. It's not that. So I do quite believe that it is this carburetor. I mean, look at it, it's all gunked up. And this thing came with the carburetor rebuild kit that Barrett already got for it. So I guess it's time to pull the carb off and rebuild this carb and do a tune-up at the same time. Might as well. It needs one. It's got that little mist still, tiny little misfire I'd like to get sorted out, and hopefully that's something in the electrical and ignition. So I will not be showing the how-to on how to rebuild this carburetor, because I don't know how to. I've never done one of these before, and I cannot speak from expertise. So I'm gonna get it all torn apart and cleaned up, and I'll probably watch a YouTube video on any tips, tricks, and whatever it takes to make these carbs work and help these engines run right. So sorry, you're gonna see the before, now you're gonna see the after. All right, carbs rebuilt, and cruises like a dream. It is very strange when you apply more fuel and you hear 6-cylinder noises coming from the exhaust back there behind you. And V6 cylinder noises, I must say. Like, reminds me of driving my old S10, the old 4.3 from back in the day. It's kind of funny. Grunty little engine. So that carburetor is a 2-barrel Stromberg, and I actually kind of remember that now. People saying that's what they came with, and they're only like a 250 CFM, and everyone says they're so choked down factory with those, you know, little tiny 2-barrels on them. A lot of guys like these V6s and, you know, play around with them. They make an adapter and they put 500 CFM 2-barrel, you know, Hollies on this, you know, basically half of a double pumper, you know. And I guess it really wakes these things up. It gets them the fuel they need. I could kind of see how that would, well, be an issue, because the thing is kind of a dog. It's grunty, but, you know, it's funny because it's, you know, it just feels like it only revs to about, you know, 3,500, and it's shifting, boom, 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 right to the gears. I'm in third gear here, just kind of cruising along. And, I mean, it's happy, but it's just different. It's not a small block Chevy. It's not a big block Chevy. It's just different feeling, and rightfully so, because it is. But it drives nice and straight. Steering wheel's a little off center, but it's not all over the road. It has a bad tire up front that's gone flat a whole bunch of times and is coming apart, so it's got a little bit of a shake, and it's coming right from, well, that front side. So I know it's that tire, but yeah, it's kind of coming back to life. Yeah, I really can't tell you guys, it's got a lot of power. It doesn't. And this motor could be worn out. Who knows how many miles this poor thing has on it. I'm sure it's original. Supposedly they say these things will run for 500,000 miles, you know, before needing a rebuild and overhaul. So who knows? This could be a, you know, it says only got 7,000 on it. That could be 507,000. You know, they drove it from 67 all the way up till, I think it was 04 there on tabs on the plate. It's like, it doesn't look like it's ever been apart before. The motor's all orange, original, and grimy, grody, and worn out, and, you know, so it's just, who knows? It could be 307,000, 207,000, 507,000. It's hard to tell. I mean,
I don't know. I'm just getting used to it. This is my first time cruising the V6. Okay, scoop. What do you think, buddy? I must say that Ram Assist steering is a treat. I do like it. It works good. It's just a little cruiser. I really like it, actually. It is kind of coming back to life. Running smoother and smoother. Still got a little bit of an exhaust leak. For the life of me, I cannot find that Ziploc bag I've got. It's like a freezer style, like big Ziploc. It has a bunch of 67 only key cylinders in it, and I've been looking all over and I cannot find it. Of course, it'll turn up right when after I buy a new one or find another one. But I've been wanting to get that fixed. That's kind of like next on my little bugaboos with it, and it annoys me. For like 3 or 4 days driving around like that, it's like, yeah, okay, this needs to change. All right, these V6 engines. I think this will kind of put it in perspective how, well, large these things are. I mean, look at it compared to a small block Chevy right next to it. There's 8 cylinders that you know, valve cover is covering the valve train up of, and this has only got 6 cylinders it's covering up. And they're literally actually bigger than the small block Chevy ones. So they're big engines, you know, footprint and size-wise. And big in cubic inch as well, too. Again, like, you know, 305, oh, that's not a very big engine. There's only 6 cylinders. That's a 5-liter V6. You know, with those kind of cubes, you know, per cylinder, it's over a 400 cubic inch V8 with the same, you know, bore and stroke if there was 2 more cylinders. And they built these engines at a 305, a 351, a 401, and more, and even a 478, like the Toraflow is, my big Napco. So big cubic inch engines. There's lots of videos on YouTube about these engines. I'm not an expert on them, again, but I do know the backstory behind these, and I'll talk about these, the goofy plaid valve covers. So these engines came out in 1960 and in production GMC trucks only, and they, like anything new and out of the gate, they had issues, little issues, and they had issues with their valve train setup. I'm not sure what quite it was, but I know it was an issue with the valve train. Well, anyways, these issues started showing up after a year or 2 of trucks being on the road, and they had to come up with a fix for it. So they were in the engineering, you know, design room and playing around with different, you know, changes and different things to the valve train on these motors. And they were marking, the engineers were marking, you know, let's just say engines A, B, and C with Scotch plaid tape to show, you know, hey, this engine's got, you know, maybe this size rocker arms and different bushings, you know, because they have aluminum bushings on the rock. They're kind of funny. I should almost pull a valve cover off this truck just to show you guys what it looks like. But anyways, I know they're making changes to them, and they're kind of marking the engines in Scotch plaid tape just as kind of like little placeholders. Okay, this is that engine, this is that engine. Well, one of the designers, you know, came and walked in and was like, hey, what's with this, you know? What's that little, you know, piece of like Scotch plaid tape, you know, sitting there to mark this engine? Like, oh, we're just, you know, kind of showing it. Like, hey, that's kind of cool, actually. So they decided that they would actually cover the whole valve cover in that and put them on the engines that way, factory. And it was a way also too of showing, because this valve train issue was a recall work, and you know, you'd call you up with your GMC and say, hey, bring that thing in, let's get it fixed. And so they'd bring it in and switch over to the new valve train parts, and they would put these plaid valve covers onto your truck to show that it had the work done. So that it was, you know, the 2.0, or the, you know, it was fixed, or you had the kit put in it. And that was their way of showing it. And it was kind of the new and improved, and had these groovy plaid valve covers stuck on there. They weren't pink, they were this color here, this red. These were on a truck that sat in a wrecking yard for a long time,
and the heater box on the early body style trucks covers this area of the valve cover. So that is kind of the true color. They're all dusty from sitting in here too, of the plaid valve cover trucks. This is faded to pink. The rest of being exposed to the snow and sun and rain for who knows how many years. So it's a pretty good sticker actually they used there, because that was on there for a long time and still hanging on there pretty good. But anyways, kind of goofy. Plaid valve cover trucks. V6 guys, they know all about these. They know way more about them than me, and they love these things. It's kind of a cool thing. It's like kind of like these. It's like chrome script, you know. It's kind of the special. Not all of them had it, you know. It was a certain run of engines that came with it. Well, these were kind of rare in the same factory, you know. They didn't always last. So some guys didn't want plaid valve covers in their truck. They took them off, or they painted them orange again, or you know. They're just kind of uncommon to see, and it's cool to see when you see one of these goofy engines in the engine bay of one of these trucks. Then you see it's got those on it. It's even more of a, you know, conversation piece. But yep, the plaid valve cover was to show that it was the 2.0 and had the work done to it. So there's tons more videos on these engines on YouTube on here, guys. Check them out. Probably a lot of them got better info than me, but yeah, I'm thinking that maybe these plaid ones will go on this little half-ton two-wheel drive. First scoop. What do you think?
I'm actually impressed.
It kind of cruises, doesn't it?
Dude, not only that, the fucking transmission is good.
I know, and the power steering, that's RAM assist.
Is it?
It's not even a power. It's not a power
It
box.
actually works really well.
I know. I was
It
surprised
seems
about
like
that
it's
too.
got more turning radius than the.
It might. I thought
It's got 2 flat tires up front. Though.
it does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, out around. This one's trying to come apart bad, really bad. It goes flat
I was
overnight nearly.
surprised. I was like, oh, I was waiting for it to just be all over the place. I was like,
Yeah, it doesn't drive bad.
it doesn't feel like it's getting full throttle.
Oh, that's full throttle.
You sure?
Yeah, that's full throttle. Actually, you know what? A guy should check because it is adjustable linkage.
It feels like it's you only got that much throw on the pedal. I don't think it's full throttle.
Well, get in there and step on it. We'll see. I just rebuilt the car, but it's a Stromberg.
What is it?
Yeah, I was surprised. Come on.
I'm actually surprised. It actually does drive.
It drives. It's a cruiser, dude.
Yeah.
To the floor.
That's to the floor.
Oh yeah, she's got a little more there. She's got a little more. So how do I gotta put it forward more. Forward more, pull back more. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's got a little bit more. You're running on about 90%. That last 10% is all you
I don't
need.
think because
Like
that
70%.
yeah, I think it was 70. Because it didn't even go to hit this. Yeah.
It didn't. It almost,
And
yeah.
then you got that much more.
She's
Carb's still leaking.
absolutely bark when you hit
I think it might do a peel out.
that. Or break the driveline tread.
What was this about? Was this a kickdown?
It's a kickdown. It's because it's a turbo 400. Well, hybrid. It's turbo
375,
375.
right.
Yeah. It's electronic kickdown.
Does it work?
Well, it ain't touching it yet, so we gotta find
we
out.
gotta find out.
We gotta adjust that linkage, and
So you need to, because this can go forward.
this just needs to pop off there and just turn it. That's where it was at. I didn't mess with it. I just put it back.
Yeah, so it needs to go back.
I got plug wires for it today. The fuel pump showed up, but it was the wrong one. And this is leaking. I gotta take this back apart. And
Your carb base plate's leaking.
is it? It didn't come with the right base plate gasket.
It's blowing steam out of it now that I squirted gas, and you can see it back here.
Really?
See it? You can see it right here in the sunlight.
Yeah. I see it. I see it. It didn't come with the right base plate gasket
All
with
right,
the carb kit.
try that, Joe.
Floor it.
A little bit more. No,
And
she's good. You were getting like 60% throttle, maybe.
See, it was,
Try that, Joe.
It was where it was at, so I didn't think twice.
There you go. That's it. All right.
Really stomp on it, Joe.
Hold on.
No.
You know, fix it. This stupid floor mat's kind of fucking it up.
That's not helping either, is it? It's all wadded up.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll take a razor blade. I'll cut that off. See, you know what's really weird? I was making fun of these. I'm like, oh, look at these. It's got Oldsmobile fucking floor mats in it.
it was sold new at an Oldsmobile dealership.
Oh, so that was probably.
Those might be original, you know. Don't want
Oh,
to.
gee.
I'll just cut that little extra flap off. All right, we adjusted the throttle. Ooh, man, she's definitely firing on all 6 now. Not all 8, all 6. Hell yeah! That was a chirp second. Damn. It runs too good now.
If the throttle's stuck, you wouldn't even know.
Just trying to get the speed of traffic.
Didn't make much difference.
Not much difference.
A little bit.
Little bit.
Nah.
Now it's just gonna blow up.
Oh man, it's amazing though. Like that transmission shifts great.
All right, new fuel pump is installed. Works swell. No more leaky. And I also got this to quit leaking too. After I rebuilt the carb, everything functioned better across the board as far as fuel delivery and carburation goes. But this thing, after I cleaned all the gunk off of it, it was leaking. That's the little filter housing there. That's kind of cool. It says GMC fuel filter. But I should put a new flare nut on it. I think it's getting so chewed up, but still, gotta love that snap-on flank drive wrenches. They work better than a line wrench, I swear. It gets it off with no problem. So as long as I can still get it off, I'm not gonna fix it, I guess. Put it that way. Maybe I'm just being lazy. Still works. I'm not fixing it quite yet. Yeah, it's running better and better. Also, what am I? Oh yeah, this here. Check this out. So I was kind of ranting on about it earlier in the video. How it had like it had the big block fan shroud, but it's a weird short one for the V6 big block only. Well, I was right. I had a normal V8 big block one, and it solved the issue. It is in place, and it works. And the fan is correctly spaced. It's all good to go. So my predictions or estimations, whatever you want to call it, is correct. So I'm probably just going to remove... Well, a guy could actually run out, definitely, if he wanted to hook this cooler back up. I should take the cooler off and clean it, because it's got like a mud daubler in there. And I should just flush the cooler out and cap it. And if a guy wanted to hook it back up, a guy could. But it won't be coming through these holes anymore, of course, again, because the radiator's in the way. But now, the radiator, the fan shroud, everything's all correct. No more little janky, little deal it had on there. So, that's kind of cool. Small little fix, little victory. It's one of those ones that kind of feels good. Not that big of a deal, but hey, it is fixed now. So, I have ran to something with this motor, though. It's kind of funny. Reminds me of the Toro Flow. Makes sense because it's the same family. I can't get parts for this thing. It took forever to get this fuel pump. This was the third one that showed up, and we actually had to go and look for one for a 65 GMC in order to get one to show up that was correct. Kept on trying to send one for a inline 6-cylinder, and another one that had it was for medium duty trucks. They had 3/8 inlet and 3/8 outlet, which was of course too big for this truck. I could have adapted, but the factory line was all still in place, and I just kind of wanted to keep it the way it was. So took a minute to find that, and I got plug wires for it, and they were wrong. I just went to go put them on today. Finally got those, and they showed up, and they're wrong. They were for a 6-cylinder, an inline, and I've looked and had kind of troubles finding them locally, so I'll probably have to go online and order some plug wires. I did see some on there, but I got a cap, and that was correct, and I got a rotor, it was correct, so I put those on there, and it's running better, and I did put plugs in it, so that helped, but still rocking the old plug wires, and they're actually not too bad, but still needs them, need to be replaced. They're pretty dry, so definitely not a Chevy. Can't find parts for it, and what the heck, feels funny. Used to just going down to the parts store and get whatever I need, that day or the next morning. It would be there for sure. This thing, not so much. Can't like it for that, but it's definitely part of it. Part of being weird and uncommon. So this is running pretty good. I'm happy with it, the way it sits. Like I say, throw some plug wires on it and fix a few other things. Oh, exhaust leak. Yeah, that'll be one of the next ones. It needs exhaust kind of attacked all over. It's got little leaks coming from everywhere down the exhaust manifold at the ports, and the collector down there, it's missing a bolt. Probably to shove a bolt in it and tighten it up. It would shut it up a little bit, but needs to be fixed right. It needs new gaskets. It's got kind of like little collector glasses pulse on both sides. This one has like a heat riser, and it's leaking. You can see where it's got a bit of a gap there. Probably just try to tighten a few bolts up and dish up for a bit, but I think it needs new gaskets in between each of them. So I'm sure I'll go through and kind of tackle that stuff here next. But for now, feeling pretty good about this. Good enough for what it is, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. And this, well, it's not so bad anymore. Got it popped out pretty good. It's all caved in. And I was attacking it down here and playing with this and hammering, dolling, getting out. It's all creased right here really hard. And this has actually been in an accident before. There's Bondo flaking and whatnot. And I got an accident at the same spot again. So I'll probably end up actually just grinding this down and throwing some studs on it. I was trying to do it without doing any stud or, you know, bare metal welding work on it, but I'll probably grind it down now and get some studs on this edge because it's just hard creased, and it's where the body line little fender, you know, little, what did you call it, little indent or body line area is at, and so it's just holding really strong to the dent and having a hard time getting that little bit of it out. But this, the entirety of it is much better. This is all caved in before. A little more hammer and dolly work and it'll turn out nicer, but it's getting there. Better than it was. It's not totally wrecked like it was. I did get this sorted out too. Welded it all up, made it look half-assed decent, and yeah, it's fixed. Door's not trying to fall off anymore, so that's good. And I also had to actually adjust it, which was a turd. Because the fender's on. I left the fender on, so I snuck in there. I got a special wrench so I could sneak in there and get on these bolts and crack them loose and wiggle jiggle the door around a little bit, but got it. So it was decent opening and closing, and the gaps are decent. The front fender in that accident, I believe, shoved this fender back, and so it was up against the door. So I got in there, undid a few bolts and spread it back apart and got things to where they're, well, mostly happy and looking better, and the door's not trying to fall off, so that's a win-win. So that part is sorted. Just kind of a long little list of little things that had wrong with it that are getting sorted. Oh, yeah, there's one of the biggies one too. We put a windshield in there tonight when Devin and Joe were here after we quit goofing around and trying to act like we were gonna make it go faster. We decided to actually fix something on the truck, and we popped the old windshield out and snuck this one in there. It was a used gasket and used windshield I had that was still in decent shape, and yeah, we had good luck. It went, well, nearly went right in. Tried to play around on top corners a little bit because of dry old gasket, but with the three of us, it was not too bad. And it looks way better because the old one was so cloudy and cracked up. And so it's got all good glass, except of course, well, for this, I gotta get this sorted too, but I've got one of those, so I'm gonna put one of those in it. But went from having broken glass, broken side glass, cracked up front glass to having, well, good glass in it. So that's kind of a little victory in its own. My health is back. Take it for a spin.
Okay.
Drives nice.
Okay.
It drives decent. I think Scooty with you. Get in there, Scoot. Big baby.
Oh my god, he like super stiff legs.
I know. It's me all the time. 100-pound baby German Shepherd. It should start right up. Give it a little gas. It is the Rainier Racer now. It's got the gold canopy that I stuffed on it. It's white, mostly white, with a little bit of red, the interior, and a gold top, just like a Rainier beer. Because around here, we only pop gold tops. Jesus. Slow down. Well, Chelsea found a way to make it go fast, I guess. Told her to go take it for a spin. She's doing hot laps. She's gone by about 3 or 4 times now at the, well, for that thing, speed of Mach 5. I think she likes the thing. She's gonna pull up and be like, I like it. This is cool. She's got it absolutely floored. Poor thing. I've been driven that hard in ages.
It's fun.
You like it? Oh, huh. I liked it. It might run better. When Devin and Joe were driving it, it didn't have the cap of the rotor on it. Been having a tough time getting tune-up parts for it. Did you fall in love with it?
Nope.
Nope. All right. So, what do you think about the truck?
I
Told-
think it feels faster than it really is
How long did you have your foot to the floor?
the whole time.
The whole time. Okay. Well, that shows it that it's not very fast. Anything else to say about it?
I like the red interior
I know. I do too.
and the white exterior.
It's the Rainier beer. You notice that? It's white with the red and the gold top. The camper.
I could do without the gold.
Oh, okay. Was it yours? Is that why you were telling me what you can do without? Oh, it's yours now, huh? Okay. You drive, what? I told you to drive it last week, and you're like, eh. Now you finally drive.
It wasn't ready last week.
Oh, come on now. It was ready. You just had to be towed by your Suburban in order to be ready. I got to put exhaust on. You can see it looks dumb. It hangs way down below, and it has a bunch of leaks up front. So that's one of the next things is, yeah, have Uncle Kevin put exhaust on it maybe, and then try to fix a couple of those leaks at the manifolds. What do you think, Scoot? You like it? Did he like it? And his head out the window the whole entire time.
Did you?
Yeah. You can see him in the video. He's like hanging his head out the window.
Yeah, it's fun.
Try is funny though, doesn't it? It's different. The sounds funny.
Yeah, the transmission's weird.
Yeah, it does shift funny too. I noticed that it shifts nice, but
It's like,
yeah, it's got firm shifts, and it definitely is has a positive shift action. It's not all just kind of smooth. It's going.
I like the emblems on the fenders.
That's a 1 year only, 67s and GMC only.
I think we need to finish scrubbing the hubcaps.
Yes, you are right. We need to finish doing that. We got that one halfway down. It does look good. We need to get some more SOS pads, and we'll do those.
Okay.
The one's wrong. One's a painted Chevy one though too. So we got to find one GMC hubcap, or throw those away and put some slot mags on it. That'd really be what it needs. Look better like that.
We can switch it up.
No, we can't. No, we can't. She's wrong, you guys. Don't listen to her. Another one back on the road. Driven by you. Oh, 2 thumbs up? Oh, man. All right, guys. So you've seen it there. Okay. More 67 to 72 content soon, and maybe some more content on this truck. All right. So I lied a little bit. Video's not quite over. Check it out. I went and put a bolt in that one manifold. It's still a little leaky. I went through and tightened all the bolts up. Just saying, put that one missing bolt in there, and it's a lot better. Not so leaky and rattly. Exhaust leaks are my pet peeve. I can't stand them. Now it actually sounds pretty good. You can actually hear the exhaust. You're not just hearing 50 little exhaust leaks coming from the front. But Still needs new gaskets, and I want to run new exhaust because of how ugly it is routed currently. It sucks because it's new exhaust. It sounds good. It's got a little glass pack, but it's just got it hanging down so low. It's so dumb looking when you see it from this angle out in the parking lot or driving by. It just looks super janky and silly. So I want to run new exhaust because, well, it looks ugly. But I made a little list here, and so we got a lot done on it. I mean, just compared to how it was a week or so ago, it's kind of picking away at this thing and, you know, trying to make a nice little decent little truck out of it again, and it's getting there. Fixed a lot of little things about it. Needs a lot of little stuff, a lot of stuff still addressed, and so I made a list here of what's most pertinent and in my mind. I'll cover gaskets. It needs new tires or better tires of some sort. Exhaust leaks, kind of band-aided those, but those need to be fixed correctly. New exhaust. Gotta fix that key cylinder so it's not all hanging down and looking like the thing is stolen. Lights. Get some more of those dents popped out. Like I say, I was kind of showing this earlier. It's a lot better than it was, but I want to work it out a little bit more and get some more of these ones that are back here kind of sorted out. And I have some 67, 68 trim, you know, random pieces, so put the missing trim on it that it doesn't have. I think it's just missing a couple pieces on this side, and then this side's all intact. Yeah, this is the Purdy side. Tailgate needs tailgate. I made it so it opened and closed a little better and wasn't so bent up, but it's ugly and it needs to be replaced. The brakes work good. The fluid is really gross, super rusty looking, but they work. But it wouldn't be bad while guys, you know, as those old wheels and tires off to check out, you know, his suspension, his ball joints and all that stuff, and his brakes, kind of check everything out. And I'm thinking here, maybe a lowering kit, you know, 3 and 5, not too low, not too, you know, nothing too drastic, but just kind of get this thing kind of hunkered down a little bit of an altitude and an attitude adjustment. So like I say, that's kind of what's on my mind. K-swap would be awesome. Put on a 4-wheel drive frame, that's always the best way to do it, but this could be a cool little lowered C10, as all the kids call it too. But all right, guys, this is all we're gonna get done on this episode. But she's back on the streets. She's tearing up town, making V6 noises, and yeah, it's a truck again. Big block V6s, something that could only hail from America. That's right, both of these trucks are sporting the biggest of blocks with only 6 cylinders. It is quite funny to think, you know, these two really share the same architecture of an engine. I mean, I guess medium duties came with small blocks and big blocks, so why not a big block V6? And also, I must apologize. I know I said the video was over, but check it out. I keep fixing and finding little things to make it better. I finally found that a Ziploc baggie that had the 67 key cylinders in it. So got that all doctored up. Good to go. I made it official since it is the Rainier Racer. Seemed only fitting. Also, I did get this worked out a little better here. If you get up close, a little ugly still, but considering the well, 6-inch caved in dent it was, now at least the fender is most of the shape it's supposed to be. And it's one of those things, where do you stop? But got her pulled out and monkeyed with, and you know, 90% of the dent is pretty easy to get out. That last 10% is pretty darn hard. But gonna kind of feather it out a little more, maybe squirt a little dusty white on there, slap a piece of trim back on the fender, and call it a day. And it's well, looking a lot better than it did. But, all right, guys, I promise this time the video's over. More 67 to 72 content soon.